Charles Bronson was born Charles Dennis Buczynski on November 3rd, 1921, in Ahrenfeld, Pennsylvania, into a working-class Lithuanian-American family. As the 11th of 15 children, Bronson's childhood was marked by hardship and struggle. His father, a coal miner, died when Charles was just 10 years old, which left the family in dire financial straits. At a young age, Bronson worked in the coal mines alongside his brothers, earning only $1 for each ton of coal he hauled. These early years of labour instilled in him a deep sense of discipline, resilience, and a no-nonsense attitude that would later become trademarks of his on-screen persona. His time working in the mines and witnessing his family's struggles shaped his worldview, and ultimately his journey into acting. World War II service and transition to acting. During World War II, Bronson served as an aerial gunner in the US Army Air Forces. He flew 25 combat missions in the Pacific and earned a Purple Heart for the injuries he sustained in battle. After the war, Bronson used the GI Bill to study art and pursued a brief career as an artist. However, his passion for acting eventually led him to Hollywood. He began taking on small roles in films and television, where he was often typecast as a thug or heavy, thanks to his rugged looks and intense screen presence. His career trajectory shifted during the Red Scare era when he adopted the surname Bronson to avoid the stigma of his Eastern European roots. This name change marked the beginning of his rise in Hollywood, where his hard-earned toughness and brooding demeanour would eventually make him a star, break through roles, and rise to stardom. By the 1950s and 1960s, Bronson began carving out a niche for himself in Hollywood, securing roles that showcased his unique mix of toughness and vulnerability. He appeared in notable films such as House of Wax, 1953, Apache, 1954, and The Magnificent Seven, 1960, where he portrayed Bernardo O'Reilly, a character that blended stoicism with a sense of quiet honour. His performance in The Great Escape, 1963, as Danny the Tunnel King, further solidified his reputation as an actor capable of adding depth to his roles. Despite the typecasting he often faced, Bronson's ability to portray complex, emotionally grounded characters helped him gain a loyal following. His quiet dignity and measured performances set him apart from the typical tough guy archetype and made him a standout in an era dominated by more flamboyant stars. European success and international fame. Charles Bronson's big break came in the late 1960s, particularly in Europe, where his unique style and stoic presence resonated with audiences. He became an international star, especially in France and Italy, where his portrayal of anti-heroes gained him a devoted fan base. One of his most memorable roles came in Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968, where he played a mysterious harmonica-playing gunman. The film's operatic style and iconic score by Ennio Morricone elevated Bronson's status as a leading man. His role in this epic western solidified his reputation as a formidable talent capable of anchoring complex films with his silent strength. Despite being a major star in Europe, Bronson's fame in the United States would take a few more years to fully materialize. The 1970s. The iconic role of Paul Kersey in Death Wish. The 1970s marked the pinnacle of Bronson's career as he became synonymous with the revenge thriller genre. His most iconic role came in Death Wish, 1974, where he portrayed Paul Kersey, an architect turned vigilante, after the brutal assault on his wife and daughter. The film sparked a national debate about vigilantism, justice, and the American criminal justice system. Despite its controversial nature, Death Wish was a massive box office success, leading to 4 sequels. Bronson's portrayal of Kersey as a man who took the law into his own hands resonated deeply with audiences, earning him recognition as a symbol of masculine stoicism and retributive justice. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Bronson continued to star in gritty action films like Hard Times, 1975, The Mechanic, 1972, and 10 to Midnight, 1983, securing his place as a beloved action star. Later, career and formulaic roles. In the 1980s, Bronson continued to enjoy commercial success, largely in the action genre, often working with the production company Cannon Films. However, many of his later films were often dismissed as formulaic by critics, though his loyal fan base remained devoted. Despite the diminishing quality of some of his work, Bronson's screen presence remained undeniable. He continued to work with directors like Michael Winner and J. Lee Thompson, building long-lasting creative partnerships. Even in these later years, Bronson's performances retained the rugged authenticity and silent intensity that had become his signature. While critics may have questioned the direction of his career, Bronson's status as an action star was undiminished, and his films continued to find success in theatres. Personal life: marriage to Jill Ireland. Off-screen, Bronson was known for being a deeply private man. Despite his tough guy image, those who knew him personally described him as soft-spoken, gentle, and even shy. In 1968, he married English actress Jill Ireland, whom he had met on the set of The Great Escape, 1963. Their relationship became one of Hollywood's most enduring partnerships, both on and off the screen. The couple starred together in several films, including Breakheart Pass, 1975, and The Mechanic, 1972, where their chemistry as a couple mirrored their real-life bond. Ireland, a talented actress in her own right, often portrayed roles that complemented Bronson's tough guy image, and together, they became one of Hollywood's most iconic couples. Their personal relationship was marked by deep love and mutual support, both professionally and privately. Tragedy and loss: Jill Ireland's battle with cancer. In the late 1980s, Jill Ireland was diagnosed with breast cancer. The couple faced the illness with immense courage, with Bronson remaining steadfast by her side throughout her treatment. Ireland became a public advocate for cancer awareness, using her platform to offer hope and share information about the disease. She also wrote 2 memoirs detailing her battle with cancer, providing insights into her personal experience and inspiring many others going through similar struggles. Despite her strength, Ireland passed away on May 18, 1990, at the age of 54. Her death profoundly impacted Bronson, who rarely spoke publicly about his grief, but was visibly devastated by her passing. The bond between Bronson and Ireland had been one of deep loyalty, and her death marked a major turning point in his life. Bronson's health decline and final years. As Bronson's health declined, his life became increasingly private. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, a condition that robbed him of his memories and his ability to continue with the active, intense lifestyle that had defined much of his career. Bronson also struggled with pneumonia, which further complicated his health. In his final years, Bronson withdrew from the public eye, preferring a life of solitude and quiet reflection. Despite the challenges he faced in his later years, Bronson's legacy as one of Hollywood's most iconic tough guy actors remained intact. His death on August 30th, 2003, marked the end of an era in cinema, as fans and film historians reflected on his contributions to the action genre. Death and legacy: Charles Bronson passed away at the age of 81 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California. His death marked the loss of one of the most recognizable and enduring action stars in Hollywood history. Bronson's legacy endures through his iconic roles, particularly in films like Death Wish, where his portrayal of the stoic anti-hero resonated with generations of viewers. His tough guy persona was coupled with an authentic and grounded presence, that made him one of the most admired actors of his generation. Though his later years were marked by illness and seclusion, Bronson's impact on cinema remained profound. He was laid to rest at Brownsville Cemetery in West Windsor, Vermont, a quiet resting place that reflected his desire for privacy and peace after a life spent largely in the public eye.